Welcome guys to the Meet Damien channel live stream here talking about Bitcoin and crypto. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin as we normally do first. Trading sideways and choppy, not giving us any direction to go with here. And then we'll talk about some of these altcoins. I'll be doing altcoin requests as well. But currently right now, starting off with Bitcoin. We see Bitcoin trading at $116,850, and we've just been going sideways for the good majority, about roughly what, 2 weeks here, since the middle of July, July 11th. Well, actually, what, July 10th, we had a big impulse move, but then after that, July 11th, a little bit forward and up, I guess. On July 14th, we topped out $123,000 Bitcoin, but then ever since then, it's just been sideways and choppiness, and we've been making lower highs, which is not really good to see on the daily time frame here. Let me go ahead and just draw out the downtrend here that we're in. This is no bueno, in my opinion. Okay, let me see if we go into the 4-hour chart here. You can see that, yeah, obviously we're making lower highs here on the 4-hour time frame, okay? Trying to get some support off the 50-day, but we keep losing the 50-day, this green line here. And when we do lose the 50-day moving 50 moving average on the 4-hour time frame, we do kind of get support on the 100 moving average for the 4-hour time frame on Bitcoin. Right now, we're kind of dropping right down to it right now as I speak. You see this red candle here, this 4-hour candle that started at 12 p.m. Eastern time here. We got about 22 more minutes left in this candle, but we are testing and playing games here. This is very frustrating for the day traders out there who are trying to make, you know, a percentage gain. Like right now, we dropped down 1% in the last 4 hours, but I guess if you slap on like 20x leverage, that's like a 20% move. Okay, but you would have to be pretty much on the charts all day, every day. You cannot leave the computer and leave the charts if you're trying to make some money day trading this market. But if you're in this just for the long term, or swing trading it, or, you know, just doing the altcoins, then you're just kind of sitting back waiting for Bitcoin to show some direction here, which is not. It's just going sideways. But we're trying to figure out, are we going to get some cheaper Bitcoin, or are we actually going to see Bitcoin start making us some money here? Because right now it's just sideways and choppiness, like the last couple of weeks here. So yeah, I'm you know, just looking at the Bitcoin 4-hour chart, you know, I think this is a good time frame to be on, because you can see that the 100 moving average is getting respected on the 4-hour time frame. I think this is a good time frame to be at. You know, if I zoom out to the daily time frame, I mean, you guys probably already heard me say that, you know, Bitcoin has remained bullish. Looking at the Fibonacci here, we've been hovering near the 0.786 retracement at $117,900. Yeah, sure, we actually came down below that, you know, gave people a good scare on Friday, last Friday, July 25th, when we came down to 114,750, which is right near this golden pocket number, this orange number at $114,500 Bitcoin. Okay, but then we bounced off of that, and we just basically been trading at $117,000, $118,000 Bitcoin almost for like the good majority of 2 weeks here, and it's a little bit frustrating to see that. But in my opinion, this favors the bulls here, because we already came into a bull. We already came into this from below, and we're just consolidating here on Bitcoin. We're actually resetting the RSI here, the relative strength indicator, this red line. Right now, the RSI is at 53.8 on the daily time frame here. Okay, this gives us room to breathe if we want to go to the upside, and we can continue seeing like maybe $130,000 Bitcoin, like I've been expecting Bitcoin to do. Probably it looks like we might get that in August. Okay, but yeah, I'm expecting $130,000 Bitcoin in August if we actually do start climbing up here. But right now, we are just going sideways, okay? And you can treat this as just a bull flag, in my opinion, okay? Right? You got the flag here. Let me just draw out the flag so I can make it somewhat obvious, okay? I guess we'll have to kind of discount that one wick right there. okay? But you got yourself like a bull flag here, and with the bull flag, this is part of trend analysis. If we were to break out to the upside, you just take this flag, right? This flagpole as your measure move. You put it to like where we could possibly break out of the flag to the upside. And this flagpole is saying that, yeah, we could see $134,000 Bitcoin. That blue number there, $134,000 Bitcoin sometime in the future here. I'm expecting maybe in August. Maybe my expectation is a little bit too high. But, you know, the price of Bitcoin is already too high, right? Maybe not. Maybe the price of Bitcoin needs to go a little bit higher. But I think we could still see Bitcoin go to higher prices here. And I'm expecting $130,000 to be the next number for us to get as we move to the upside here. Now, if we do go to the downside here on Bitcoin, I still think we could actually break through the golden pocket here at $113,000 Bitcoin. Possibly come and try to test the $110,000 level, which was like pretty much near all-time highs previously during this year. We've seen Bitcoin at $109,000, $110,000, $112,000, but I think $110,000 Bitcoin could be a level where people say, hey, you know what, this might be relatively cheap Bitcoin before we can actually before we miss out on the boat to $130,000, $150,000 Bitcoin. Okay, so I still think 110 could come if we decide to drop down here on us. Okay. Also, we have the 50-day moving average, which could provide support at $107,000 Bitcoin. I think that's the strongest support because we did have some sideways trading action in that zone here. We also have the 0.382 saying that we could see $107,000 Bitcoin. But yeah, in my opinion, if 110 doesn't hold for some reason, then 107 is probably going to be where Bitcoin wants to go if it decides to drop down to the downside on us. Let's see, what do we have here for some comments, and what are we saying here in the live chat? User 666 is asking, what is the difference between the different time frames, 1 hour, 4 hour, 1 day, 1 week? I mean, those time frames, the difference is that it's still the same data, it's still the same chart, it's just how the chart represents itself. Each candle on the daily time frame, right, is each candle represents 1 day, okay, on the daily time frame. But you can zoom in. It's like using a microscope. We can zoom in on the price action, right? And if I click the 4 hour, now every candle represents 4 hours, okay? Let me just get rid of the moving averages for now. But yeah, every candle now represents 4 hours in the 4 hour time frame. And then we can zoom in again and do the 1 hour time frame. And now you just get the same kind of data. But now you can kind of see like where some of these lower highs are at, okay? Now that we're zooming in onto the smaller time frames here. And that's all the time frames are, is just, you're just zooming in like using a microscope to like figure out where exactly those lower highs are sitting at. And in this case, yeah, where the price action has gone over the last few hours here if you want to zoom in on the 1 hour time frame. But let's get back in the daily time frame here. Hope that answers your question there. Skid Pay said he gonna lose your money, trust me, and on his okay. Looks like Skid Paid is a hater. Okay. Don't know why you're throwing shade over here. Let's see. Sir Squiggly of the Lion says, can you explain XRP predictions? Sure, we could take a look at XRP. We'll make that one of the first altcoins that we'll look at. Problem is, when I look at it in the beginning of this live stream, someone else later on in the live stream will say, hey, can you look at XRP? And it's like, bro, we already looked at it like an hour ago. But we'll look at XRP, why not? You made that request. And let's see, we got Kevin and the YouTube stream, and we got John316. Skid marks, right? Yeah. I am still bullish on Bitcoin. Let me just zoom in here. I'm still bullish on Bitcoin because all we're doing is doing a bullish, in my opinion, we're doing a bull flag here on Bitcoin. We're just consolidating. It's a little bit frustrating, but all we need is some positive catalysts here, and then we can be off to higher prices on Bitcoin. But you know, that this doesn't mean that we can't go down either. All right, but I just feel like this consolidation has to come to an end at some point, because we've been doing this for about 2 weeks now, and the longer we go sideways, you got both the bulls and the bears. You got the bulls putting their stop losses probably somewhere like at 113k or 110k, and then you got the bears putting their stop losses and shorts, you know, probably at 120, 123k here, and you're just building up a lot of pent up demand to go either way on Bitcoin. And it normally doesn't stay sideways for too long. Like, I mean, we kind of did sideways for a little bit here back in May, kind of, sort of, going into June for like the longest time. So I guess maybe we could go another month of going sideways, okay? But eventually you get some resolution, and in this case the bulls won, and they sent us up to higher prices, $120,000 Bitcoin back on July 10th here. And going into like July 14th, and we're just trading sideways. We're just trading sideways until we get some direction here in the markets. There's a big day tomorrow. The unemployment report comes out tomorrow. That could be a catalyst for the markets. That's going to affect both stock market and crypto. And you know, just be on the lookout for tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. Could give us maybe some direction here that we're looking for. Because if the unemployment number is good, right, then maybe they don't lower interest rates, which is going to affect Bitcoin, right? But if unemployment number is actually bad, maybe they actually do lower interest rates, maybe for the September Federal Reserve meeting, and the markets are going to anticipate that, and they're going to front run that. If the unemployment number is actually bad, they'll actually start probably sending the price of Bitcoin higher. All right, I see MMA Squires in the chat. Let me get right to it. We did a request for XRP, and we also have another request for RSR. So let me get into it. Appreciate your questions here, guys. All right, so now we're looking at XRP, currently trading at $3.06. Guys, don't forget to hit that like button. If you, for my TikTok guys, double tap the screen, hit that like button, okay? But yeah, let me get right into it for XRP. XRP trading at $3.06, literally at the golden pocket level right here, okay? I've done a Fibonacci analysis measuring from $3.66 here, okay? $3.66 XRP down to $1.90 is where we were, you know, saw the lowest price here in June 22nd, and it gave me this fib level to look at, these fib levels to look at, and I'm eyeballing, you know, 0.65 golden pocket number here at $3.04. That's pretty much where we're trading at for XRP. Looks like we're getting some support there. Let me go ahead and throw on the moving averages. Are we actually getting some support from the moving averages? Let's take a look. 21 EMA, the 21 EMA exponential moving average, which is this white line, has raced up and caught up to where the price action is at. This could act as support, but we lost it here on Wednesday, so not really acting as support anymore. If XRP decides to go to lower prices and we lose this $3 psychological level, then we might have to come right back down to the 200-day moving average at $2.45. Okay, I see these moving averages right below us. This should act as support here. Anywhere between $2.36 and $2.44, 45 cents, somewhere in that area. That could be your downward support. Oh, I just messed that up here a little bit. That could be your support for XRP if we do come down to lower levels. So, like, if you guys are interested in buying some cheaper XRP, you can start putting in your limit orders on the cryptocurrency exchanges and say, hey, I want to buy some XRP at $2.45. Because that's where the 200-day moving average is sitting at right now, and they should get some support. Now, we might not actually come down to the 200-day moving average. There are other traders that are eyeballing XRP, and they might start front-running you. They might say, you know what, $2.50, or even this 0.382 retracement, you know, at $2.57, they might say, hey, this seems like a good area to buy some XRP before it even gets down to the 200-day moving average. So, you know, that's something to take into consideration, that we could come down to $2.57 on XRP, and this might be where XRP gets some support. And if you're wondering why XRP doesn't go down to the 200-day moving average, it's probably because other traders are looking at the Fibonacci like me and saying, hey, 257 seems like a good area, a good buy area for XRP. Okay, now if XRP can actually catch some bids here, and if Bitcoin decides to go up to new all-time highs, then yeah, I think we could see XRP clearly get above back to $3.66. And then, yeah, if Bitcoin is making new all-time highs and XRP decides to make new all-time highs, then we could see $4.13 XRP according to this 1272 fib extension level here. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind as well. Rizzy asking which broker is best in UK. Are you talking about cryptocurrencies? That would just be an opinion. I'm not sure which the best one would be, but I think you can use Coinbase in the United Kingdom. I would try to use Coinbase if you can. I think they're in the United Kingdom. You could do Coinbase as a good cryptocurrency exchange to get started with in crypto. I've been using Coinbase myself since 2017. Haven't had any problems with them. You know, and I'm not worried about them, you know, going out of business anytime soon, like some of these other exchanges. But you never know. You never know. But they are on the I believe they're on the S&P 500, but they're trading on the stock market, so I highly doubt that they'll be going out of business anytime soon. Pre-mark logos say bull flags don't hit 100%, and you, my friend, are 100% right. Bull flags don't hit all the time. It's just an idea. It's just a possibility as to, like, we're trying to figure out where the price might go next, and the bull flag, if it does play out, it might actually play out that way, but it doesn't happen 100% of the time, and you're right. They're just probabilities. All we're doing is we're dealing with probabilities here. Okay. Let's see. Who else do we got? I think we gotta look at RSR for D2 Miami. And Sir Squiggly says, thank you. You're welcome. Not a problem. Let me just do a sound check. Make sure you guys are able to hear me here. Okay, yep. I gotta check. Sometimes I forget to turn the mic on sometimes. And then you guys see me over here looking at the charts, but you can't hear what I'm saying. And then I had like a sound issue with my TikTok stream the other day. So I want to make sure that you guys are able to actually hear me and we're not having issues here. Sebastian says, bro, the crash is there. I'm so happy. What's crashing? Can you elaborate and tell me what you think is crashing right now? Because Bitcoin's just trading sideways and bullishly consolidating, in my opinion. You want me to go back to Bitcoin? It's crashing? Alright, yeah, sure. If you say it's crashing, let's take a look. What is Bitcoin doing right now? Daily time frame, Bitcoin's at $116,800. It's only down 0.8%, 0.88%, so I wouldn't really call that crashing in my opinion. We're getting a red candle, yeah. Okay. But we still have 4 hours to go left on the daily time frame here. In about 4 hours, the daily candle will close for Bitcoin, and we could go right back up to $118,000. And I mean, that's what we started this candle at $117,830. We could go right back to $117,830. And what are you gonna say then? Bitcoin's not crashing? If Bitcoin was down 10%, I would say, yeah, it feels like we're crashing on Bitcoin. But Bitcoin's only down not even 1%, so I can't even say, I don't know why you're saying it's crashing. Azak Hart saying, are we in a pennant and just waiting for Bitcoin to make a decision? It seems like that. It seems like we're kind of in the bullish pennant. Some might call it a bull flag. And I just said, you know, if you just do the measure move on the bull flag here, if we're gonna treat this like a bull flag, and remember, just like my friend pointed out, bull flags don't play out 100% of the time. But if it does play out and we go out to the upside on this bull flag, then I was looking at, you know, $134,000 Bitcoin. That blue number to the right could be where Bitcoin goes next. It's a target. And it's confluent with this 1272 fib extension level here at $130,000. It's actually in between the 1272 and the 1618. You know, between $130,000 and $138,000. Right smack dab in the middle. This bull flag measured move is saying that we could go right up to $134,000, and it would kind of make sense. It actually might do that. All right, Sebastian. Let's see. What do we say? Anything about above 100K? It's no. All right, guys. Behave yourselves. Behave yourselves. Yes, we're not crashing on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's only down 1%, not even 0.8%. That is not a crash. Okay. But maybe he's leverage trading and he's doing 20x leverage and he feels like it's crashing for him. Okay. Let's look at the 1 hour candle. Yeah, I mean, look at this. Right? This is just a red candle here. Okay. But we've had green candles cancel that out. You know, back here on the 1 hour time frame, we had these green candles on Wednesday. Just push us right back up to the moving averages on the 1 hour time frame. So yeah, I mean, we're getting a nice solid red candle right now. We're down 0.7% on the 1 hour time frame here. We'll see. Does anybody have any news? Because obviously I'm live streaming here, but is there any news that came out? Maybe Donald Trump did some tariffs on us or something that's causing a crash right now. But anyways, let's move on to RSR. If you guys have any news that recently came out, let me know. There might be, we're getting close to 4 p.m. here, and the stock market's closing soon, so we might be getting, I believe we're going to be getting some earnings report later on tonight. And that might affect the cryptocurrency market as well. Let's see, RSR, we're going to look at RSR, reserve rights. I believe that's the token you want me to look at. D2 Miami. And we got to go into the daily time frame here. So RSR currently down 3.89% today. Looks like you know, what do we got here? I'm just trying to familiarize myself. I don't really got that much data to work with here. Looks like we started trading on Coinbase Exchange on April 22nd. Let me see if I can find another exchange that might give us some more data for RSR here. Let's see, Binance should have more data. They usually do. Oh yeah, and it looks like I have some previous chart work here. Okay. Alright, so this looks better. Okay, so I don't know if you requested RSR before, but I think it still holds true. I have some previous chart work here that says we have a take profit target at about roughly, we'll call it 0.0106 in this area. This is the previous high back in May. If we're able to catch the bounce here and go to higher prices, that should be your take profit target to the upside. Never mind making it up to the take profit target 2, but there is a take profit target 2 that says we could get up to 0.013 pennies, and that's basically just looking at the previous price action back here in December. We had some sideways trading action. I think that's a good level to sell your RSR if we do get up to that level here. But let's zoom in here. Let's see what RSR is doing. Looks like we are making a lower high on the daily time frame compared to the high here in May, and that's no bueno in my opinion. That's not we can't be bullish on this asset if it's doing lower highs, right? And then also looking at the 200-day moving average, this red line here, we're now losing that 200-day moving average. Okay, so the 200-day moving average is currently sitting at 0.0082 pennies. We're below that level, okay? So, in my opinion, anytime an asset goes below the 200-day moving average, we have to consider being bearish on the asset, okay? Until it can get back and above the 200-day moving average, then we can go back to being bullish again, okay? So now I am a little bit worried about this asset going down to lower prices. If we do go down to lower prices, maybe we catch a bounce off the 100-day moving average sitting here, this blue line at 0.0075 pennies. But maybe we go below that as well. Okay, you would think and hope, if you're bullish on this asset, that you would treat the 100-day moving average as support. Now let me just go ahead and I'm going to throw in the VRVP, which is a special indicator that kind of like measures all the buys and sells. So we have this green and red indicator off to the right. This is the VRVP, the Volume Range Visual Profile Indicator. And it shows me where the high volume nodes are at. And right now, there is a high volume node right below us at 0.074 pennies, which is like right where that 100-day moving average is. So I would expect if we do go down, we're going to get some support at this area at the very least, okay? And if we break below that, then we might have to come down to this blue line. This blue line is the point of control which is part of the VRVP indicator, but this blue indicator, this blue line, the point of control, we call it POC for short in day trading world, but the blue POC here, the point of control, is sitting at 0.0068 pennies. So I think that could be another area of support. If this asset does come down, you're probably going to get a bounce here or a bounce here, okay? Somewhere in between these two levels here, just using the volume range visual profile indicator. And yeah, I think I covered upside targets already, but yeah, take profit target 1. If we do go up to higher prices, I think 0.0107 is the level you need to beat, because that's your previous high back here in May. Okay, that's going to be your take profit target 1 if you're able to get up to that high of a price. Okay. Faux fake. What are you saying here? Laugh. LMAO. Bye bye, boys. Oh, okay. You having fun there, laughing to yourself? All right. What are you thinking about Shiba? Okay, we'll take a look at Shiba. And let's see. Do I have any other requests here? I see my young Choi is in the chat and liking the stream. Appreciate you doing that. And you love my teaching. Thank you. I appreciate that compliment. I'm trying my best here to educate you guys using the charts here and technical analysis. And I appreciate you enjoying my teaching here. I try to also be a little bit entertaining if I can, but it's also educational as well. Yeah, that's what we're doing here. Appreciate that. Appreciate that compliment as well. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at Shiba Inu, because I think that's the next request here. Guys, I'm going to try to do a 2-hour live stream, so we're like, I think 30 minutes into this stream here, but gonna try to do a 2-hour live stream as best as I can here, because why not? I got the time for it. I got the time for you guys. Let's look at Shiba Inu. Shiba Inu trading at 1270. I got the VRVP on still, this green and red indicator. Why not? You know, we can use this to help us figure out the levels that we might be going to next year. And just looking at the VRVP indicator, we're gathering data going back to like all the way to February of 2025 here. We're looking at the daily time frame, so we got a good amount of data here. And the POC, this blue line, is sitting at 1359. Okay, we're below the POC. Okay, that's not bad, and it's not good. Okay, it just is what it is. Okay, but if we continue going below the POC and go to lower prices here, then we might get some support at this white line, which is the value area low, sitting at about 1179. Okay, 1179 might be an area where you can put in your buy orders in on Shiba Inu to try to get some cheaper Shiba Inu if that's what you're interested in doing, is acquiring some more Shiba Inu. You could probably get it at that level, 1179. And that's a level that we traded at sideways back here in early July and late June here. This seems to be a good support area for Shiba Inu, in my opinion. But if we move up to the upside, we could get some resistance at this POC sitting at 1355. It might be a little bit hard for Shiba Inu to push past that level, but if it has enough buying pressure, we'll eventually break past it. And if we do, then you know, we have gaps here in the VRVP, but we have a little bit of volume here at 1445. Could be a take profit target 1 in the future here. And then we have another gap in the VRVP, and then we have another high volume node sitting at 1503. That could be where we can do a take profit target 2 if we're trying to swing trade this and make some money in the next few weeks here. Okay, and then we have the value area high sitting at 1571, which is right where we were topping out here back in the middle of July here for Shiba Inu. I think that should be your ultimate take profit target. If you haven't taken profit, you should probably take some profit at that level. I think if I just measure this out real quick, you'll be up, I think 20%, maybe 30%. No, okay, yeah, you'll be up about 15% from, oh wait, no, I gotta measure it down from here. We're currently down at this price, okay. Yeah, you'll be up about 24% from where you are right now. Okay, so
I think that is a good, healthy gain to be taking profit, unless you're in it for the long term. And if you're in it for the long term, then we have to zoom out here a little bit and see where Shiba Inu could possibly go. Now we have another high volume node here sitting at 1880. That could be another take profit target. Later on in the future, we might actually see Shiba Inu get to 1800 later on in 2025. And then if we want to stay in the trade longer than that, you know, we have a big gap, kind of a little bit of volume here at 2000, but we have a pretty much almost like a big gap here, a double gap. And we have a value area high sitting at 2491. 2491 could be your ultimate take profit target for Shiba Inu, in my opinion. Where, yeah, if you can get up to 2491, you basically doubled your money with Shiba Inu at the current levels that we're trading at. And yeah, in my opinion, if you double your money, you should be clicking the sell button. But not financial advice. You can do whatever you want with your money. If you want to stay in it for longer, by all means, go ahead. But yeah, let's see. D2 Miami said thank you. Oh, you're welcome, D2 Miami. And now KB24 wants us to look at Ando. We can do that, yeah. Alright, we'll take a look at Ando. And I'm just trying to see if I missed any requests here. I don't see anything. Guys, I don't know if you hear voices in the background, but you know, I'm currently on vacation right now with some people, and the living room is right nearby, and you're gonna hear some voices in the background. If you don't, hopefully you're able to hear me through the voices, but yeah. And Oxar is just being a bear right now, saying gains are being lost. That's unfortunate. But that's part of trading. You make money and you can lose money. Market goes up, market goes down. But if you're in it for the long term, usually the market goes up and you make money. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at Ando. Alright. Yeah, I'm still using the VRVP. Why not? We can use that for Ando as well. Okay. I figure if I use the VRVP indicator more often, you guys will learn a little bit more about how to use the VRVP indicator. I do have a video here on TikTok explaining how to actually set up and use the VRVP indicator and use it for your trading. I also have another video about how to use the Fibonacci, doing Fibonacci analysis as well. You're gonna have to just dig through my TikToks, but you'll see them in there. I think I put those videos up like a month ago or 2 months ago. Yeah. Alright. Let's get right into Ando here. Ando trading at 94 cents, down 0.23%, and I don't know why some people are complaining about, oh my god, my gains are being lost. We're literally not even down 1% on Ando. And we got some people complaining. He must be in a meme coin. Maybe that's why he feels like he's losing a lot of money. But anyways, we're looking at Ando, which is a pretty solid cryptocurrency to be in. It's related to decentralized finance. And we'll look at the VRVP indicator. And the VRVP indicator is showing that the point of control, which is very important to look at, this blue line is sitting at 82 cents, okay? If Ando, for some reason, if we lose our gains, right, we could come down to 82 cents. And I think this is a good area of support for Ando if we actually do come down to that level. Let me see if the moving averages are showing support at that level as well. We have... No, the most moving averages are sitting at like 89 and 88 cents, so you would think that the moving averages would also provide support. You know, the 100-day is sitting at 88 cents and the 50-day is sitting at 89 cents. You would think there'd be some support at that level. But if we go down lower than that, then we do have the point of control. The most of the buying volume is right at this blue line at 82 cents, okay? Which is an area where we were trading at back in June. And yeah, basically the entire month of June we were trading at 82 cents. So I think these people are gonna provide support, because if we do come down to 82 cents, they're just gonna be break even. They're probably not gonna click the sell button. But if we lose, you know, 82 cents or even go down into the 70s, then these people might start to worry that their investment is losing money, and they might hit the sell button, and that could send us down to probably to this value area low sitting at about 58 cents. 58 cents is the doomsday number for Ondo if we actually do lose the 70 and 80 cent level here. But if it's not doomsday, and if it's, you know, sunny days here for Ondo, then if we can just push past this 200-day moving average sitting at this 97 cents, that's that red line right here. If we get past that level, then just using the VRVP indicator, it looks like once we get up to like $1.03, there's not much stopping us from going all the way up to this next high volume node here at $1.33. I think $1.33 is going to be your take profit target 1. And that's the same level that traders and investors were trading at back here in January. Anybody that bought Ondo here might say, you know what? I've been in it for too long and I can finally break even, and they'll click the sell button once Ondo gets to $1.33. So you can come join them and click the sell button as well when Ondo gets up to $1.33. I think that should be your take profit target 1. You don't have to sell everything. You just keep a little bit of Ondo, because if we do push to higher prices, we have seen Ondo go to higher prices here. Back here in December, we saw like, what, $2 Ondo? And if Ondo goes to $2 from where it is right now, that's a double in price. And I would definitely click the sell button, sell something, right? Try to make some money in cryptocurrency. And I think that's where you can sell your Ondo in the future. But I think, yeah, $1.33 take profit target 1, and then $2 take profit target 2 for Ondo. Alright. Almas was here, says, thank you, bro. Oh, you're welcome. You're definitely welcome. Are there any other assets you guys want to take a look at? We went through the list so far. I probably want to take a look at Ethereum and Solana, see how those bad boys are doing. Let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum. All right. Oh wow, I got a lot of rainbow looking colors here. Ethereum trading at $3,700. Let me go ahead and get rid of the VRVP for now. Okay. And now we're just looking at the Fibonacci that I drew on Ethereum, and this is measuring from like when Ethereum went down to like 1,300 bucks back here in April to the highs here back in December, where we saw Ethereum get up to $4,100. You can see that, you know, I have said like early this week, I could see Ethereum going up to $4,100, and that's probably going to be, you know, I think Ethereum needs to chill out once it does get up to like $4,000. Okay, but it actually looks like Ethereum is chilling out right now and consolidating sideways just like Bitcoin. But who knows? Maybe we do come down to lower prices here. And right now we have a 21 EMA sitting at 35.29, which is also where this blue level's at. And this blue level, right, that's the 786 retracement, okay, at 3,517 bucks. That's a pretty significant level for us to try to hold. You know, I think if Ethereum is not able to climb up to higher prices, then we might see $3,500, and that might be where Ethereum kind of like gets some support, hopefully, before it goes up to higher prices. But yeah, Ethereum was, earlier this week and last weekend, especially last week, Ethereum was way overbought in my opinion, and it needed to go sideways. It was begging to go sideways at best, and it might even come down a little bit to the lower prices here. But if I turn on the RSI, you can see that Ethereum's RSI, you know, last week, you know, we saw like RSI of like 85 on Ethereum. I think the RSI is still high. Let's see. Anything above 70 is considered overbought. Okay, Ethereum's RSI is now at 68, so that's close to being overbought. You know, anytime you get a 70 or above on the RSI, that's considered overbought. So Ethereum is no longer overbought on the relative strength indicator. But looks like it looks like it wants to go a little bit further down to the downside. We'll see. And if it does, that's all it's going to do is reset this indicator, this RSI, and it will allow us to take a break, take a breather, before Ethereum decides to go to higher prices. And of course, if Bitcoin's going to higher prices, then I think Ethereum will go to higher prices. The next level for Ethereum, according to this Fibonacci, is this 1272 level here, sitting at $4,800 Ethereum. And then there's the 1618 saying that we could see $5,700 Ethereum. I think that may be later on in 2025. I'd probably say maybe like November, December timeframe. We might see like a $5,000 or $6,000 Ethereum. And that's almost like a double from where Ethereum's price is at right now. But let's first try to get past 4,100. That's going to be a level for us to beat because those were the highs that we made back in 2024. It was $4,100 Ethereum back in December of 2024. Did we get higher than that in March of 2024? No, $4,100 was like the highs for like 2024 for Ethereum. I think that's the next level for Ethereum where it's going to get probably some resistance if we get to $4,100. Alright. Moving on from Ethereum, we'll take a look at the Solana. See how Solana's doing over here. Solana is at $174, down 1.6% today. We're looking at the daily time frame. And I drew out a uptrend that Ethereum was in, but it looks like we lost that uptrend, so clearly we're not in an uptrend. We're in a downtrend now. Okay, let me go ahead and get rid of this. This no longer seems applicable to us here. If Solana does go to low prices, I was eyeballing this $172 level, which is the 0.382 retracement. We actually came down to that level last night for like literally 1 hour, like almost like a liquidity grab is what I would call it. And then we came right back up. They didn't even give people a chance to buy Solana at 170 bucks. But it looks like we're coming right back to it again. And I think this should be a level that we would get some support before we start going to lower prices on Solana. If we lose $172, we'll probably most likely come right down to this 200-day moving average, in my opinion. Not financial advice, but in my opinion, we could come down to the 200-day moving average at $162 is where I would try to consider buying some cheaper Solana if I was inclined to do so, okay? But if Solana can catch some bids here and actually go to higher prices, then we want to, we were eyeballing this 618 retracement at $218 Solana and the 6.5 golden pocket at $225, okay? That is a level that I think Solana is capable of getting and will most likely get resistance at if we actually make it to that high of a price here on Solana. Then of course we got the 786 retracement, which could also provide some resistance at $252. But before we even talk about these higher numbers here, let's see if Solana can start catching some bids here, get up to $195, and then we'll see how it does when it gets to $218, $220. I think that's going to be an area where people are going to click the sell button, because that is an area that we were trading at back here in November and December. A lot of people bought Solana at that level, and if they're, if they had enough of Solana and they want to get out of it and break even, they can break even when Solana gets back to 225. Alright, so that's Solana upside and downside targets. Let's take a look at Avalanche. We haven't looked at Avalanche in a while. Why not? We'll take a look at AVAX. AVAX currently trading at $22.81, down 2% today. And what do we got here for AVAX? Alright. I'm trying to zoom in here. We're on the daily time frame. And wow, okay, I see a possible double top here at $26 for AVAX. This is not good seeing that. Okay. It probably means we're gonna go down to lower prices, which we have, okay. Looks like AVAX is currently trying to get some support at the 200-day moving average, sitting at $22.78, which is literally like right where we're at right now. Okay. But if we lose this 200-day moving average, then there are some moving average supports below us. We got the 50-day at 21.34 and the 100-day, this blue line at $20.65. This could be a nice area to try to scoop up some cheaper AVAX if you're inclined to do so. That $21 level is also confluent with the 0.5 retracement. And we also have the 0.382 retracement at 1982, which is, I guess, you know, similar to this blue 100-day moving average. Alright. D2 Miami, I appreciate you sharing the live. Guys, if you have any friends that could benefit from this technical analysis and looking at cryptocurrencies, I also look at stocks as well. We can take a look at some stocks. If you guys want to take a look at, you know, whatever, we can see whatever asset you want. But I appreciate you sharing the live with your friends and family out there, because I think I do some pretty good technical analysis here, so why not? Mario saying, hey brother, your thoughts on TARS AI, will it recover? Looks like a double top heading is saying. Okay, yeah, we'll take a look at TARS AI. Sure, right after Avalanche. Yeah, so I gave the downside targets here for Avalanche. If Avalanche actually cashes some bids here, you know, we might see some resistance at this 0.786 retracement at $24. I also highlighted a red number here, 24.74 as well. And then, of course, 26.74 is what we have to, you know, get past before we can see maybe a $30 Avalanche in the near future here, which is where your 1272 retracement is sitting at. I'm sorry, 1272 fib extension is sitting at. All right. Moving on to TARS AI. Okay, so we're looking at TARS AI. Currently trading at 6 cents, down 3.65% today. And you know, let me just zoom out here, and let me get rid of the moving averages for now. TARS AI was in this downtrend, right? But it was also making an uptrend as well, and we kind of almost made like this symmetrical triangle, this yellow triangle that I drew, right? But now we're losing this uptrend. Okay. I highlighted here, you cannot go below 0.058 pennies. Do not go below that level, because this is a level that we try to maintain back here in May. We caught a bounce off that level. It's also a level where we had some resistance here. Okay. And I even said right here, you shall not pass, because if you go past this, if you go below 0.058 pennies here on TARS AI, it's gonna hurt. I would put a stop loss at 0.057 maybe, because if you're not ready to take this kind of pain, you could see TARS AI come just as low as it did back here in April. And back here in April, we came down to 0.023 pennies. Yikes, that's like a 66% drop in price. Do you really want to stick around for that? Right? Let me just measure this out here. That's a 61% drop. It could get very nasty and painful for TARS AI if we lose this level here. Keep that in mind, okay? That's why I'm looking at the charts here. I'm not sure if I can even talk about upside targets here. You know, it would be nice if TARS AI could go to the upside, you know, get a bounce off this level and go up to higher prices. We want to see TARS AI get up to like 8 cents here, which would be above the previous highs here back in middle July, and also get above this high here at 0.096 pennies. You know, basically get up to 10 cents, okay? And I think you can invalidate this whole downtrend that we've been in since May, right? May 27th, we've been in this downtrend, making lower highs here on TARS AI, okay? Show us that you're able to make higher highs instead of lower highs, okay? get out of this downtrend. Start making an uptrend. Let's start making higher lows and higher highs. That's how you know you're in an uptrend, is when you're making higher lows and higher highs. Right now, TARS AI looks like it wants to, unfortunately, it wants to lose a lot of money right now. Okay, but we'll see. We'll see. You have not passed this line yet. Let's see. How low did we get today? We came down to 0.059 pennies. We're teetering on going down the lower prices here on TARS AI. Unfortunately, I hate to break it to you, but I don't want you to get mad at me for not, showing you what the possible downside might be. Okay, and I'm showing you that the possible downside is we could come down to 2 pennies. Now let me go ahead and throw on the VRVP indicator. Maybe there might be some nodes here that says we could get some support. Looks like we have a high volume node here at like 5 cents. Okay, 5 cents could hold maybe. Then we have some more volume here at like 4 cents. Okay, and then of course we have some more volume here at 3 pennies. So maybe it does drop, but maybe not so hard. Maybe it comes down to 3 pennies instead of 2 pennies. But yeah, you got some volume nodes here, basically at the psychological numbers of like 4 pennies, 3 pennies. Okay, but interestingly enough, you do have some volume here at 5 pennies. Okay, 5 pennies could provide support, maybe. Brad Thompson is asking, which token are we looking at? We're looking at TARS AI right now. This is currently trading on Mexi Exchange. I'm getting data off of Mexi Exchange. And yeah, this one is looking like, could be possible short. Now, if you're trying to short sell this thing, this might actually be an interesting short. If we lose this level, you can put your stop loss above the highs here and on Sunday, where we saw, TARS AI get as high as like 0.076 pennies. And then you're just hoping to get paid, maybe take this down to 5 pennies or even 4 or 3 pennies. Yeah. Johnny P says, do you think there will be a parabolic altcoin season? Let me take a swig of water first. Altcoin season. I feel like we gotta look at Bitcoin dominance for that, so we'll take a look at Bitcoin dominance now that you mentioned that. But parabolic, I think we need to get more clarity on the trade deals. Donald Trump keeps, the Trump administration keeps threatening tariffs on all these countries, and I just feel like the markets don't like that. They don't like that uncertainty, so it's affecting the markets. I don't know if that's gonna prevent, if that's. I feel like it's gonna prevent us from going parabolic on the stock market and on altcoins, in my opinion. So if we can get rid of that uncertainty, and if we can actually get the Federal Reserve to lower interest rates, then yeah, I think we could go parabolic on altcoins. Alright, but let's take a look at Bitcoin dominance since we're talking about altcoin season. For those of you who do not know about Bitcoin dominance, this is a very good indicator to figure out if we are going to get an altcoin season and what kind of altcoin season are we gonna get. Okay, is it going to be a good altcoin season, a bad altcoin season, a spectacular parabolic altcoin season? Right now, we're looking at Bitcoin dominance at 61%. This means that Bitcoin has 61% of all the money in crypto, and I think that's like, we almost have like $4 trillion in cryptocurrencies. So Bitcoin has about 61% of that. Bitcoin has over $2 trillion in it circulating all throughout the world. Crazy to say that, huh? But we'll get the daily time frame here on Bitcoin market cap on Bitcoin dominance. And to be honest with you, I never actually used the VRVP indicator while looking at the market cap dominance, but let's go ahead and do it anyways. As I start to zoom out here and gather some more data, we got data going all the way back to 2024 here. Okay, and yeah, we're currently in July 31st of 2025. And what do we got here? Okay, we got some high volume nodes here, these green and red indicators here. We have a point of control saying that market cap dominance could come back up to like this blue line, this point of control at 64.5%. If Bitcoin dominance does this, then I feel like the altcoins, you're not going to get an altcoin season because Bitcoin is going to steal the show. Hopefully in a good way. It's because Bitcoin is going to higher prices and making new all-time highs. But if Bitcoin is dropping down in price, then these altcoins are going to drop down in price as well. But Bitcoin's not going to drop down as hard, and that's probably why Bitcoin dominance would go up if the price of crypto all around the world are going down. So we do not want that situation, but it could happen. That could possibly be the reason why we come right back up to this blue line here. Let me throw on the moving averages now, see what the 200-day moving average is looking like. Because with the Bitcoin dominance, if you're below this red line, the 200-day moving average, which we are right now, then I say that is an altcoin season, okay? It's like we saw the beginnings of an altcoin season here in July, right after 4th of July. And you can see like all these red candles here sent us below the 200-day moving average. And did that not feel like kind of like a beginning of an altcoin season? It felt like a beginning of an altcoin season to me. Okay. And then what we did here on the, you know, let me get rid of the VRVP for now. But what we did here was we bearishly backtested the 200-day moving average on Bitcoin market cap dominance, which is great. That's great to see because that means we could still have an altcoin season. As long as you're below this 200-day moving average, you're considered bearish on market cap dominance, which is great for the altcoins, okay? In my opinion. And what we want to see is we want to see more red candles. We don't want to see green candles. We want to see more red candles on market cap dominance. We want to see Bitcoin start to lose out on its dominance and actually have more money going into altcoins than Bitcoin. Okay? But if you want to see what a real altcoin season looks like, okay, then you would have to go back to 2021 because look at this, right? Do you remember February of 2021? Put a 1 in the chat if you've been around since 2021 in cryptocurrency world here. Okay, put a 1 in the comments and put a 1 in the live chat here if you've been in cryptocurrency since 2021. Okay. But yeah, and back in 2021 here, March of 2021, we lost that 200-day moving average, obviously, and then we dropped like a rock on market cap dominance all the way into April 2021. And that was like when Ethereum was going up to like $4,000 for the first time in its history, okay? And that's when Solana was doing well, okay? Heading up to like, I believe $200 for the first time as well, okay? And it wasn't until like October of 2021 where we actually came above the 200-day moving average on market cap dominance, and then yeah, we kind of lost out on the altcoin season in 2022, okay? And this was a good time to start accumulating your coins here back in 2022, okay? But yeah, I like looking at market cap dominance because it's been increasing for like the last few years, but now we might be getting the beginnings of an altcoin season, in my opinion, because we're below the 200-day moving average. Johnny P says Bitcoin is too strong, won't let the altcoins breathe. Yeah, it sure does feel like that, huh? What is Bitcoin doing? Last time we checked, Bitcoin's at $116,800, and now we're a little bit below that, $116,600 Bitcoin. Bitcoin's now down 1% today. Okay. All right. Johnny P says, do you think we will have an altcoin rotation like last cycle? Bitcoin, Ethereum to large caps, and so on. I feel like that is usually the way things flow. We get money leaving Bitcoin to go chase gains in the large caps. Yep, like Ethereum, like XRP and Solana. And then we'll start seeing money going into the mid caps as well, before we start seeing money going into like meme coins and some of the small market cap cryptocurrencies out there. And I'm trying to think, what is a small market cap cryptocurrency? I think like maybe like if your cryptocurrency has like $100 million or less circulating all throughout the world, I think that's considered a small cap, in my opinion. Yeah. And John says no since 2024. You've been in it since 2024? Congratulations on getting started on cryptocurrencies. 2024, we did see lower prices in 2024 for Bitcoin, especially you know, especially like around like the summertime of last year. Okay, we did see I think we see Bitcoin get down to like $49,000 on like August of last year. So not too bad of a time to be getting involved in cryptocurrency, but yeah, now we're ready to go. I think we're ready to go to higher prices on crypto, at least to the end of the year. As long as we get those positive catalysts like lower interest rates and trade deals coming our way, I think we'll be all right on cryptocurrency world. Let's see. We got the Deadwood is in the chat for YouTube, and then we got Matty Ghost saying stablecoins locked in my meme coin profits. Oh, you're a stablecoin king now, and you locked in your meme coin profits. Well, good for you. Congratulations. I'm glad you were able to take profit. It's hard for a lot of people to do, but that's how you make money in investing, is you got to take profit at some point. All right, let's see. BGD says, let's do Polygon Matic. Okay, Polygon. Sure, we'll do that right now. All right. I feel like there's not that many people in the live stream today because people are like a little bit disappointed in crypto going down. They don't want to look at their investments. They don't want to be reminded that we're having a red day today. But I'm glad you guys showed up, because you guys are the real ones, the ones that are in it for the long term here and trying to learn about investing and technical analysis. This is going to help pay off in the future here. That's why we come here. It's kind of like a classroom. Try to be a little bit entertaining. That's why I got the music going for you guys. So, you know, I know this could be some dry stuff that we're looking at, but I think the music kind of helps make it a little bit less dull, a little bit more entertaining here. Looking at Polygon Matic. Polygon Matic trading at 20 cents, almost 21 cents, down 3% today, unfortunately. And yeah, Polygon, what it needed to do, it needed to get above that 200-day moving average, but instead it treated it as resistance, which is whatever, but it kind of sucks too to see that. So let's see. Polygon Matic. Clearly got rejected here on July 21st off the 200-day moving average, which was at 26 cents. And now you're trying to get some support here on the moving averages below you. The 100-day is sitting at 21.5 cents, and 50-day sitting at 22 cents. And you're below that, so oof, this is not good. This is not good, because now you're below the moving averages here. Where's your support? There's no support here. You could come down to 18 cents maybe? Excuse me. Kind of burped there a little bit. You could come down to like 18, 19 cents is where you were trading at back here end of June of this year and beginning of July. This could be a support area for Polygon, in my opinion. I'll quickly do a Fibonacci analysis. Why not? Okay, we'll measure from the high here down to the lows here. Okay, you might end up getting some support at the 0.236 retracement at 18 cents, or I should say 0.187 cents to be exact, almost 19 cents. This could be where we just all of a sudden stop the bleeding out of nowhere. And if you're wondering like, hey, why did this thing not go down to 16 cents? Because you got this 0.236 retracement that could act as support. The Fibonacci traders might come in to save the day and try to get a bounce off of this level here. Claire Lane says there was an echo. Interesting. Not sure why you heard an echo, but I'm glad that is gone now. But yeah, let's get back into Polygon. If Polygon is able to catch some bids here, then we might come back to this 0.618 retracement, this golden pocket at 23 cents. Which is a level that we were trading at in middle of July. Okay, that could be where it kind of like settles off a little bit. But I want to see us get above this red line, this 200-day moving average sitting at 25 cents. Get above 25 cents, and of course get above like 26 cents. And then I think we could see Polygon get up to this 1272 fib extension at 29 cents. And then maybe possibly later on in 2025 get up to this this 32 cent level at the 1618 fib extension level. Claire, you love the analysis. Appreciate that. Appreciate. I'm glad you love the analysis. Don't forget to double tap your screen to send a like to let TikTok know that you like this live stream here and my analysis. Thank you. I appreciate the compliment. Okay, let's see. Baz D Meg saying hello. I have an entry on Link at $13, 40x leverage. What do you think? Is it safe now? All right, we'll take a look at Link, and we'll take a look at it in a smaller time frame. So it seems like you're a day trader and you're using leverage, so I can do that for you. Take a look at it myself. And then BGD says 29 cents is going to be a big stretch for Polygon. It's possible. Like, I mean, we saw a candlewick high here. Look at this. On Polygon. Back here on July 8th, we saw Polygon get up to 31 cents here on Coinbase. So I'm not sure if it's a big stretch, but it has happened. Probably not for too long because like you quickly came down. Who knows? I'm not sure what this is all about, but you have to. Somebody came in and hit that sell button on you. Okay. All right, and then let's see. BGD says you've been holding since April 2022. If at 18 cents, go all in just to get my money out. All right. Okay. BGD says that's a scam candle. Yep. You know, I didn't want to say it, but you said it. It does look like a scam candle. Let's see. If I go into the 1 hour time frame, let's see what that looks like on the 1 hour time frame. Yeah, look at this. This is a scam candle. And for those who don't know, like what the hell is this? Going up to like 30 cents for like literally just 1 hour and then coming right back down. That's pretty fishy, pretty scammy, in my opinion, yeah. Yep, I agree with you on that. Alright, let's take a look at the Chainlink. And we'll stay on the 1 hour time frame because it sounds like my guy over here is day trading with 40x leverage. Okay. I do some day trading myself. I'm currently in a Solana long, but I don't know. You know, the way crypto's going, I may have to consider shorting instead of longing. We'll see. We'll see. Right now we're looking at Chainlink trading at $17.18, down almost 3% today. We're in the 1 hour time frame because my buddy here is using 40x leverage. And are you long or shorting Chainlink? That's my next question for you because that kind of like helps me figure out what we're trying to do here. Okay. And KBD says, can you explain how leverage works? And BGD is asking me, what's your Solana take profit on the long? I'm actually targeting 220 bucks on that long. It's a small position, small margin. So I should be able to stay in the trade as long as Solana doesn't go below $168. If it does, then I lose out on my trade. Sorry, so you're going long on Chainlink at $13.42. Okay. Alright, so just looking at my Fibonacci, because I have done Fibonacci here. Looks like we topped out here on Chainlink at about 20 bucks, okay? And we saw Chainlink trading at roughly 10 bucks here back in June 22nd, okay? So I had some fib levels to work with here, okay? And it looks like Chainlink is trying to come right down to the golden pocket, which is normal, and it's a normal healthy pullback from where we were trading at back here at 20 cents on July 21st. So this is normal, in my opinion. We could see Chainlink come down to $16.70. I think that might be a better entry if you want to add to your position on your leverage long. You could try to add some more at like $16.70 here. And I would put the stop loss, in my opinion, if I was trying to get into this Chainlink long, below this candle wick low here on July 30th. We got as low as $16.77. I would give myself a little bit more room to breathe, depending upon, I mean, you're using 40x leverage, so maybe you do want to keep your stop loss tight, but I'd probably put it maybe at 1650. At 1650, I don't want to be part of this trade anymore. I don't want to be longing chain link, because you know we could drop down further to lower prices. You might actually want to consider maybe flipping from longing to shorting, okay? Because like if we lose that 1670 level, we could come down to this 0.5 retracement at 1559, okay? Or even the 0.382 at 1447. And I think, yeah, we got some sideways trading action here at about 15 bucks. I think 15 bucks or 16 bucks is probably where this thing goes down in the nearest short term if we're going to lose 1670. But yeah, you could, like I said, add to your position if we get down to 1670. And I would be targeting, for a take profit target, $18.29. That's your 0.786 retracement level here. This is also a level that we were kind of like trading sideways back here in middle of July, end of July. That could be a good take profit target for your chain link long. And if you want to stay in the trade a little bit longer, let it run a little bit, you could see if we get back to $20 here. Just curious, what is your take profit targets for your chain link trade, your chain link long? Hey, I see Dave P and Rich is in the chat. Good to see you guys. Glad to see you make it into the live stream. I'm gonna try to go live for about maybe another 45, maybe an hour. So you guys came at a good time. Appreciate you coming in. Rich, why you asking where the girls at? The girls, hey Rich, you gotta go over to the TikTok live stream, because I actually do have a few ladies in the chat, which is very pleasant to see that. I have a few girls here that are trying to learn about day trading and the markets here and looking at the charts. So yeah, if that answers your question, Rich, seems like there's a bunch of dudes in YouTube, but my TikTok live stream has guys and girls over here. Yeah. Usually for some reason, it seems like when we talk about the markets here on my YouTube channel and on my TikTok channel, 80% of my audience is like guys, okay? So when we have girls come here onto the live stream here, it's a very welcome sight, because you know, I feel like everybody should be learning as much as they can about day trading and technical analysis here, so they can become better traders and investors and try to make money instead of losing money. Rich says stop it. Alright. Let's see. What did I miss here? Did I miss anything? Oh yeah, we gotta explain how leverage works for KB24. Alright, let's see. How am I gonna explain this leverage? So, leverage trading. Let me just, let me go to an asset that I don't have that much candlewick chart. Let me just look at chain link. We'll look at chain link, right? On a different chart here, so I don't lose my work here. Okay, so let me try to see if I can explain this from the beginning. Leverage trading is when you use your money and then go to the bank and borrow more money using the money that you have as collateral. That's considered your margin, okay? And you can, let's say for instance, we're going to do a 20x leverage, okay? And you're going to use like maybe $500 of your money, okay? Your $500 with 20x leverage, do 500 multiply that by 20. I believe that comes out to 10 grand. You're now playing with 10 grand of leverage, okay? Using just $500, your $500 becomes 10 grand, and then you can then buy like $10,000 worth of an asset with your leverage trading, with your leverage. So that is probably the best way I could explain it. You're basically using your money plus the bank's money to try and make money, even more money than what you would just using your own money, okay? But leverage trading can be dangerous because remember, it could go the other way on you, and that's why we use stop losses when we're doing leverage trading. We want to basically not lose too much money, not lose our margin. But yeah, some people end up losing all their money on leverage trading. That's why it can be a little bit dangerous, in my opinion here. But I'll show you how we would try to do, you know, a leverage trade if we were going to trade Chainlink, right? Because we're looking at Chainlink right now. So let's pretend like we're going to get into this long on Chainlink, okay? Let me see. I want to do a long position, okay? So let's say like we're going to buy Chainlink literally right now at $17.19, okay? All we're looking for is, we said we want to get Chainlink up to like, we were going to sell it at 20 bucks maybe, okay? So with this long here, this is saying that we got a 16% move to the upside from where we are right now, okay? So that's your reward, okay? Now, if you take that 16% and you put 10x leverage on it, your 16% now becomes 160%. You could double your money using leverage trading. And that's what leverage traders try to do. They try to make a lot of money if they can. Now, you know, you also have to figure out where you're going to put your stop loss. That's this red area right here, okay? And usually on your stop loss, you're probably going to risk maybe like 1% or even like maybe 2 or 3%. In this case, I said like we don't want to be part of, we don't want to be in this Chainlink trade below $16.50. So in this case, we have a 3% stop loss, okay? Now remember, with leverage trading, if you're doing 10x leverage, this 3.8% stop loss, you could lose 38%. Just take that 3.8 and multiply that by 10, and 10x leverage says that you'll lose 38% if the trade doesn't go your way, okay? But if it does go your way, then you could get like 160% with 10x leverage, because you have a 16% move to the upside here. This 16.85% move could turn into 168% with 10x leverage. Hope that helps explain leverage a little bit there. I did my best there to try to be educational about leverage trading. Let's see, my guys here on YouTube, let's see what you guys are saying. Okay. Let's see. No quick money for you. I don't trade, you invest 5 to 10 years. Yeah, that's, I mean, for some people, they don't trade. They just do long-term investing, and that's one way to do it. Let's see. Rich says at some point he will check YouTube. And, Rich says we have Jesus in here. I'm just reading your comments in the chat here on my YouTube. Yeah, okay. Mike Lane says PayPal. You want me to take a look at PayPal? Is that a request for PayPal stock? We could take a look at PayPal. And let me just read the chat here. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat while I was doing that explanation about leverage trading here. Baz D Meg says $23 maybe. Yeah, maybe. We could see that for Chainlink. You said it's not a bad position. I think with 164 with 40x leverage. Always respect the leverage. Yeah, definitely. Leverage can be dangerous if you don't know how to use it right. You gotta want to keep your losses small and try to ride those trades up to, you know, your take profit targets here. But yeah, let's see. Mike Lane, Ponk444 says that trade will get stopped out. Yeah, it's a possibility. And if it gets stopped out, then you have to reevaluate and figure out where you want to go next with your trade here. Okay. Maybe you decide to short instead of longing. Alright, so if it goes the other way to the stop loss, do you lose 16 times 10? No, when you lose out, right? This is why you want to keep your stop losses tight, okay? But if your stop loss is 3.83% below where the current price is at, with 10x leverage, that 3.83% becomes 38%. You will lose 38% of your money. Yeah. With 10x leverage. Pong says it's a decent setup though. Yeah, we're just doing this for educational purposes here. You know, another thing you could do is you could just use less leverage. Like, you don't have to use 10x leverage. You can actually do, like, 2x leverage or 3x leverage. And then your stop loss, right? That leverage, you'll only lose about 3 times 3, which is what, 10%? Which is normal for most people. But then your gains, your profit, you only get, like, 16 times 3. You'll get, like, 48%, which is still good. But one of the more important things to keep in mind is the risk-reward ratio when you're leverage trading. You want your risk-reward ratio to be at least 3 or higher. In this case, this risk-reward ratio is 4.39. That's actually a pretty good trade to take if it does go your way, okay? Because you're not risking that much, but your profits are very good where you're going to get 4 to 1, okay? You're risking basically 4 to 1 on your risk-reward ratio here, okay? So that's just something to keep in mind here. Alright, you want your risk-reward ratio to be like 3 or higher. Like, if you had your reward a little bit lower than that, like, and you're only trying to do this, like a 2 to 1 risk-reward ratio, it's okay, I guess, but it's not the best. You want like a 3 to 1 risk-reward ratio, because if you're risking your money, you want to get the most amount of money when you do win your trade, okay? Another thing is you do not want to do this where your stop loss is like all the way down here, because now look at that risk-reward ratio. You got a 0.6 risk-reward ratio. That's a horrible trade to be in. You do not want like a risk-reward ratio like 1 or less. Okay, you want like a 3 to 1 risk-reward ratio or a 4 to 1, okay? So it all depends on where you put your stop loss, okay? You could make your stop loss loose, but if you make your stop loss loose, then you should probably plan on being the trade a little bit longer, so that way your risk-reward ratio starts hitting 3 again, okay? But this is when you have to start managing your trade and figure out, do I really want to be in this trade, or do I want to wait for maybe the prices go lower and then I can get a better risk-reward ratio? Or you might even want to think about just flipping short. If it's not a good long, it might be a better short. Okay, but let's go ahead and take a look at PayPal from my buddy here who just came into the chat. That was a request, and we'll take a look at PayPal on stock market. Okay, we'll look at PayPal on NASDAQ. Appreciate your request. I do stocks and I also do crypto, so I appreciate you making that request. And you want me to let you know what I think about PayPal. Okay, let's go on to the daily time frame. We'll zoom out because I think most people look at stocks on the daily time frame unless they're day trading it. Then maybe they'll look at the 1 hour time frame. But yeah, we're looking at the daily time frame here. PayPal's trading at $68.76. Looks like we went down 1%, 1.3% today. Oh my! Oh wow! Looks like PayPal has seen better days here, back in like 2021. Jeez, we're kind of like almost trading at the same prices that we were at back in 2018. What is wrong with PayPal? Let's see. Okay. Alright, so you might be new to the channel, but I always tell my viewers, anytime you're below this red line, this is the 200-day moving average, I have to be bearish. That's my first bias is going to be, I'm going to be considered bearish on this asset until you get above the 200-day moving average. So the 200-day moving average, this red line, is sitting at $76.54. You got to get above that level before I start becoming more optimistic and bullish on PayPal here, okay? You were above that level back here in like September, October of last year, November and December of last year. But it looks like you lost the 200-day moving average here in February of 2025. But then you had that nasty drop here in April with the whole tariff fiasco, and the 90-day pause on tariffs sent us back up again. And let's see. PayPal did go up like most of the market did here. throughout the months of May and June and even July. This is nice to see. You actually did get above the 200-day moving average on July 28th. Okay, so there might be some hope. There might be some hope. Okay. However, what is all this about? Okay, you actually came down and you're revisiting the lows here that you made back on June 18th. We saw PayPal get down to 67.52. We're not that far off from doing that all over again. But could this possibly be a double bottom? Right? I don't know. I mean, PayPal is at an area where I would consider buying. You know, I like buying red candles, especially on the daily time frame. Maybe you could buy PayPal at this area. This is the same area that this stock was trading at back in March, earlier this year. So the people that bought here, they're not going to sell unless we lose this area, this zone right here. I think if you come down to 66 bucks, it could be game over for PayPal, in my opinion. Then you're probably going to revisit the lows here for the year, where we saw PayPal go down to 55 bucks. Back here on April 7th. So you're teetering, you're playing with a little bit of fire over here. This kind of almost looks like TARS AI. One of my viewers was asking about TARS AI. It's going to be pretty dangerous and nasty if we lose 67 bucks, in my opinion. Yeah, lose 67 bucks and you're probably going to come right down to 50 bucks. Or 55 or 58 bucks here. Okay? But I'll do a little bonus for you. I like using Fibonacci analysis, okay? Let me do a fib level. We'll see what the fibs are showing. From this high to this low. You got your golden pocket at 70 bucks here. You lost your golden pocket, unfortunately. Now you're coming down to the 0.5 retracement at 67 bucks. This $67 level keeps showing up on the charts. That's a very important level, in my opinion here. Okay? You might magically, out of nowhere, catch some bids for some reason, especially if the Fibonacci guys are looking at this asset. You might catch some bids at $64.89 or even $61.47. That's your 0.382 retracement and your 0.236 retracement. But I don't like using Fibonacci by itself. I like to see the moving averages providing some support and showing me that there's some confluence with the Fibonacci. Let's go into the weekly chart. Let's see if there's any moving averages that might provide some support on the weekly time frame here. Nah. No. You're like kind of below all the moving averages on the weekly time frame. Wait. Oh, look at this. Look at this. You have the 50-week moving average at $68.47. You're literally on the 50-week moving average, that green line there, at 68 bucks, 68.47. And it looks like we came right down to it. Like we actually came as low as $68.46. So somebody, some professional trader and investor, they're paying attention to PayPal and they're using the moving averages, and we came down to the 50 moving average to the penny, right? Actually we came down just a penny below it, but that's when they bought it. They bought it at that level, and you have PayPal getting support off the 50 moving average on the weekly time frame here. That's very interesting to see. There might be some hope. There might be some hope for PayPal, but yikes. Look at this. This is a very nasty red candle. This is a bearish engulfing candle here on PayPal. Okay. So, I do not like that. You lost all this progress you made here in 1 week. That is very disconcerting to see, in my opinion. I guess I could try to look at the upside targets here for you. It would be nice if we could regain this golden pocket level at 70 bucks here for PayPal. And maybe we might get a little bit of resistance at $74, which is where the 786 retracement is sitting at for PayPal. And then looks like here on the weekly time frame, we have a 200 moving average, this red line, sitting at 85 bucks. You might get rejected at that level because this is confluence. So this is what I mean by confluence. We have a moving average right next to the Fibonacci number here. And I think if PayPal does become bullish and climbs to higher prices in the future, we could see $85. $85 PayPal. Yep. Okay. Let me help. You need this? Yeah. Okay. It's okay. It's all good. Yep. Alright. You say, bro, PayPal still has some activity in European Union and for US. And Mike Lane says, great thoughts. Thank you for reviewing. Oh, you're welcome, Mike. Appreciate that. Appreciate it. And thank you for the gifts as well. Appreciate that. And we got a new follower here. Sir Buttkiss is a new follower on my TikTok live. Thank you. Alright, let's see. What are you guys saying here on YouTube? Can we look at Chronos and ZBCN? Sure, we can do that. And let's see. Rich is saying, I used to have some Chronos back a year and a half ago when it pumped. It's holding. Let me see. It's holding what? The pump. Well, okay. Yeah, let's take a look at Chronos. All right, so we're gonna look at back to cryptocurrency world here. Okay, Pro USD. And yeah, we'll look at it on Coinbase. And I see GIG Gaming's in here. He wants me to take a look at Hex on Pulse Chain. Okay, I got you. We'll take a look at that next. You got next on Hex Pulse Chain. All right. All right. Yeah, let's go ahead and we'll take a look at Chronos. Chronos is currently trading at $14.19, down 3.34% today. We're finally getting a red date candle on the weekly time frame here. We had a few good weeks here, but let's go ahead and zoom into the daily time frame here. And yeah, looks like Chronos. I have measured Fibonacci analysis. We topped out at like 14 pennies, almost 15 pennies here. Yeah, we topped out at 15 pennies on Tuesday, a couple of days ago. And let's see. If we do come down, we might do a shallow retracement at the 786 retracement at 13.5 cents here. But most likely, if it's a normal, healthy correction, we'll come down to the 618 retracement, sitting at like 12 cents for Chronos. Okay, but I'm seeing some confluence here. Actually, no, I take that back. I have eyeballed this 11.5 cent level for Chronos, only because this has acted as resistance in the past and has acted as support. Okay, but mainly this was a resistance level, which is hopefully can get flipped into support. I think we have to maintain 11.5 cents in order to remain bullish on this asset here. Because if we lose 11.5 cents, then we could come down probably to the 200-day moving average, sitting at like 0.098 pennies here. And that's confluent with the 236 retracement at 0.096 pennies. So I think X marks the spot as to how low this thing could go. We could come back down to the 200-day moving average if we lose 11.5 cents. If we lose 12.5 cents, right? We'll just go level by level, right? We start losing and coming down to lower prices here. First 12.5 cents could be the first support level, then 11.5 cents. Then we might end up having to come down to 9.5 cents, which is where the 200-day moving average is sitting at. So those are your downside targets. If this thing is going to continue being bullish though, you do have upside target at 16 cents, 0.168 pennies. That's your 1272 fib extension. And then you have 19 cents as another possible fib extension level. And I think that's confluent to like where we were trading at back here in November of last year. We were at like 19, 20 cents. So I think anybody that bought here and wants to like get out and break even, they'll hit the sell button when this thing gets back to 19 cents. Alrighty, let's see. Rich, what is Rich saying? Are you guys in Pulse Chain? And Rich says he is. Also trying to recruit some friends too, like Damien, but he missed my comment about it. Rich, can you tell me where did you buy your Pulse Chain? If I wanted to get in Pulse Chain, what crypto exchange did you use for that one? We got to move on to. We're gonna look at Pulse Chain on. And then we'll move on to ZBCN. Okay, trying to be fair here. All right. Pulse Chain. We'll look at the daily time frame here. Did my music stop? Uh-oh. Looks like I'm gonna have to reset the music here. All right, there we go. Okay, we got music back on. All right, here we are looking at Pulse Chain. Currently trading at 0.012 pennies here. Down almost 7% today. And let's see. I'm just trying to see if there's a downtrend here. Clearly there's been a downtrend, but let me just see if I can connect the lower highs here. Okay. I'll get rid of the moving averages for now. So Pulse Chain wasn't a downtrend, but it looks like it broke out of the downtrend, and it just did it just by going sideways. So that's one way to get out of a downtrend, is just stop going down and just go sideways, and that's what Pulse Chain did. Okay. Now let me go ahead and turn the moving averages back on again. And what I love to be seeing here, what I'm happy to see here with Pulse Chain is that we got above the 200-day moving average. And I'll repeat myself like I always do. Every time you get above the 200-day moving average, you can consider yourself to be bullish. You can have a bullish bias. I can consider this to be bullish in my opinion. Now we got to see, is Pulse Chain going to actually come down to the 200-day moving average and use that as support? Get a bounce and then go to higher prices? That could be a possibility here. The other thing that I like about Pulse Chain is that we actually got above the highs here back in May. Okay, so now you're making higher highs. So that gives me even more hope and optimism that this thing could actually go to higher prices, because it just did that. It just showed us that it can go to higher prices here. We went above the highs here in May. Keep doing that. Keep doing exactly that, okay? And then try to make a higher low. Let's not make lower lows anymore, okay? And then you can possibly consider yourself to be in an uptrend on Pulse Chain. Now let me go ahead. I'll quickly do a Fibonacci here, measuring from the top here at like 14.5 cents, I believe, down to the lows in July. All right. Yep. So this is my fib level. And okay, so if Pulse Chain does come down to lower prices here, then we could see this come down and just do a healthy pullback down to the 0.618 retracement at like 1 penny. Okay, we kind of did that already here. We came down to 0.0. I'm sorry, how low did we go? We actually did that today, I believe. We came down to 0.0108 pennies. We actually came right down to the 6.5 retracement. Okay, so we came down to 6.5 retracement. We could go a little bit lower to the 0.618 retracement, but yeah, those who are doing Fibonacci, they actually respected this level to the T. They respected the TA here using the Fibonacci numbers here. But if we lose this level, then yeah, we could possibly come down to the 200-day moving average. The 200-day moving average sitting at 0.0086 pennies is confluent with the 0.382 retracement right here. So this would be a more solid area of support if we do come down. It would be nice to see us come down there and get that bounce to then create a higher low and go to higher prices here. And if we do go to higher prices, then you got the 1272 fib extension saying that 0.017 pennies could be a level for us to possibly do a take profit target. Okay. And then we got a take profit target 2 at 2 pennies here. That's the 1618. I think a lot of people are probably going to click the sell button when they see 2 cents on Pulse Chain here. Where do I get the background music? I actually use copyright-free music. We're using on YouTube here. You see, this is the song that I use. It's I just type in goth synthwave, okay? And I see this video by, it looks like Solomus Synthetica, okay? And this is where I'm getting my music from, okay? And the name of this video is called Nexus, Secrets Beneath the Neon Sky. And it's got like this cool looking purple car with a castle in the background. Pretty scenic, in my opinion. But yeah, they got some good music. And it's like 6 hours of good music. And it's copyright free, so you know, my videos won't get demonetized. I can just play this music and everybody is happy. Yep. Let's see, what is Rich saying? You can link the official bridge where you'll use to send ETH in a wrap form, then use some swaps like Pietas. Just let me know, I can help you. That seems like a lot involved. But I don't know. I mean, Pulse Chain is showing the beginnings of bottoming out and creating higher highs. Maybe this could be a good price to get into Pulse. I kind of wish I bought Pulse Chain here at like a half a penny, not even 1 penny. But if I'm gonna do all that work, I want to make sure it's worthwhile. That's all I'm asking, Rich. Is like, if I'm gonna be doing wrap ether and all that crazy decentralized, you know, trading on decentralized exchanges and stuff like that, I want to be able to catch the bottom if I can, and I want it to be worthwhile. Rich is like, I was screaming for you guys to do it. It's still easy, bro. Oh man. Maybe in the next downturn. I'm not gonna do it after we just had a run up here on Pulse Chain. Maybe when Pulse Chain comes down below a penny, I'll consider getting involved in Pulse Chain here. And you're saying there's some gems on Pulse Chain, bro. Don't fade it. I'm not fading it. I'm just saying it seems like a lot of work involved. I want to make sure it's worthwhile if I'm gonna put in all that work. Azuri on my TikTok is saying, can you tell me what happened to what? All these letters and numbers. I don't know what the hell you're saying. Alright, let's move on to ZBCN for John 316. Right? Yeah, you requested ZBCN, right? Yep, ZBCN. Oh, ZBCN. What is ZBCN doing today? Oh, wow. Okay, we're down 9.8% on ZBCN at 51,500. So you finally made it to the golden pocket. Let me just go ahead and lock this. I don't want to mess up my Fibonacci here. But I have done Fibonacci measuring from the highs here at 0.007 pennies to the low here. Down to like 0.0019 pennies here, and I see us at the golden pocket right now. We're just we got rejected off the 786. That was nice to see. We didn't really stay. It looks like that happened today. Actually, we've seen ZBCN get as high as 59,577 here on Mexi Exchange. Clearly got rejected off the 786 retracement. And now we're coming right back to the golden pocket. Could the golden pocket act as support before we then try to retest the 786 retracement all over again? I think you're probably going to get bounced between these two levels here. You're going to get bounced between 51,000 and 60,000. Unless Bitcoin decides to take a dump on us, then ZBCN is probably going to do the same, and then we have to come back and revisit maybe 45,000 all over again, or like 39,000 all over again. Okay, but I think ZBCN is probably just gonna go sideways after creating all this positive price action to the upside. Let's take a look at the oscillators. Let's look at the RSI here for a second, see what's going on here. So yeah, we were overbought on ZBCN on July 30th, which was what, yesterday? At 73 on the RSI here. But now your RSI has cooled down. You're now at an RSI of like 63. Okay. But it wouldn't surprise me if we just try to go sideways for now. I think if Bitcoin starts moving to the upside, this thing obviously will probably go up to higher prices. But I don't know, this thing, it acts a little bit different than Bitcoin. Sometimes it goes down when Bitcoin's making new all-time highs. Like we saw Bitcoin going up in the month of June, right? To like $112,000, I believe. And then ZBCN decided not to participate and just go down and just continue to go down. And we didn't actually bottom out, or we didn't get a higher low until July 6th here. And then we started cashing the bids here on ZBCN. I remember people were getting scared, like, Damien, what's going on with ZBCN? And I was like, I don't know, but it looks like we're trying to hold the 50-day moving average, but we could come down to the 200-day. Thankfully, we didn't. And we actually got our support off the 50-day, that green line, and then we came back, retested the 50-day again here on July 18th, and then it was off to the races to higher prices for ZBCN. But yeah, I think in the near future here, I think ZBN's going to just go sideways, just make a bull flag like it did here back in on July 23rd through July 26th here. And then maybe we go up and try to get up to this 0.007 penny level here, in my opinion. Oh, alright. Let's see, what are you guys saying in the chat right now? I try not to be that guy that likes to buy into the thing. Okay. We're going to be the ones to say, we told you so. You know, GIG Gaming, I can't be in all the assets, you know. I only have so much money to spread around on different coins, and I don't want to like have to, you know, juggle between so many coins here, but it would be a lot easier if Pulse Chain would actually go on one of the centralized exchanges. Do you think it might actually show up on Coinbase or Mexier at some point? Because that would be pretty cool if it did that. It'd make it a lot easier than having to do wrap Ethereum and all that work you want me to do. Alright, so we looked at ZBCN. And we did Pulse Chain as well in Chronos. Oh man, I ran out of water. I'm gonna have to go get some more water. Some more agua. Let's see, how long have I been live streaming here for? I think I've been live for like almost 2 hours. I'm trying to hit the 2-hour live stream mark for TikTok. TikTok said, Damien, do a 2-hour live stream. I'm trying to do that for TikTok here so I can like gain some points and favors with TikTok. Wow, looks like we had over 12,000 people come into my TikTok at some point. Okay, that's cool. My TikTok live stream TikTok is trying to push my channel out there. I appreciate them doing that. Robert has joined. Is Robert in the chat? Alright, let's see. What can we do here? I want to take a look at some other assets here. You guys got any other requests here besides Pulse Chain? I kind of want to take a look at Aerodrome. I haven't looked at Aerodrome in a while. Let's see what Aerodrome's doing here. So we're now looking at Aerodrome, currently trading at 79 cents, down 2.4% today. And what do we got here? What do we got? Aerodrome has got above the 200-day moving average, and it hasn't back tested the 200-day moving average. Like, the 200-day moving average was kind of acting as resistance for the most part in middle of June, going into the beginning of July here. We finally got above that 200-day moving average, but we haven't back tested it, which I guess is all right. Okay. But we're waiting for some of these other moving averages to kind of catch up. Maybe provide some rocket fuel to the upside here for Aerodrome. Let me get rid of this previous chart work here. But I just love the fact that Aerodrome is just making higher highs, higher lows, higher high, higher low, higher high. Could be possibly another higher low here. And could we see $1 Aerodrome later on in the near future? Maybe. Well, let me get rid of the moving averages for now. It looks like we're kind of in a parallel channel. You see, I'm trying to draw out where's my channel? There we go. All right. Is this what Aerodrome's doing? Let me see if I can get this to match. Kind of like that, maybe? So it looks like we're in an upward parallel channel here for Aerodrome. And you can just play this, right? And if you see Aerodrome come down to the bottom of this channel, it could be a good time to take a long to add to your position. When you get back up to the highs over here, to the highest point of this channel, you could probably consider selling Aerodrome when it gets like $1.17 maybe. It's just an idea, you know? But it looks like a parallel channel to me on the daily time frame here. And then, you know, every time you're at the heart line, this blue dotted line here, you're in kind of like no man's territory. But you can literally play this, right? Bottom of the channel, buy. Top of the channel, sell. Come back, bottom of the channel, buy. Top of the channel, sell. You just keep rinsing and repeating until this asset decides to do something else besides staying in the parallel channel. Donald wants me to look at Say. Okay, appreciate that request. Don't forget to hit that double tap, that like button for my YouTube guys. Smash that like button. Let's try to get the likes to match the amount of people in the live stream. I know Rich is the like police over here. Don't let me have to send Rich to come get you guys. But yeah, if you guys could do that for me, appreciate that, because when you do that, that lets TikTok and YouTube know that we have a good live stream here, and then they'll try to show the live stream to some new people, try to get some more people to join these live streams here. Appreciate that. But yeah, we'll look at Say. Sure, why not? USD. So we have Say right now, currently trading at 29 cents, just shy of 30 cents. We're down 4.4% today. Say, I'm just eyeballing this chart for the first time, I guess. I haven't really had anybody request Say in a while, so I have no previous chart work here. And it's just like a naked chart for now, but I love in the fact that you're making higher lows, higher low, possible higher low maybe, and you're making higher highs, higher high, higher high, higher high. Clearly got above the highs here back in February. So I think Say is looking pretty solid in my opinion. You might just be catching the higher low here if you're willing to buy Say at this price. There's spammers in here. Who's spamming? Oh, is this Chung guy? Is he spamming? I could make you guys mods, yeah. Let me see, am I able to do that right now? John, I think you already are a mod. Let me see, Rich. Okay. I'm gonna have to like try to figure out how to make you guys mods here. Let me see. Let me see. I'm gonna go into my live stream here. Add as a moderator. Yeah. Okay. Rich, you're now a moderator. And let's see, John. You are now a moderator. Go ahead and do the Lord's work now. Appreciate that. Alright. So let's go back into Say here. Say. What can Say do? What say? What do you say? I kind of want to do the VRVP on this one and see what the levels might be. Let's go ahead and look at the VRVP here for you. Alright, so we got the VRVP indicator. This is the green and red indicator off on the right side here. It shows you the buys are in the green, the reds are in the sell, and it shows you what price people were buying and selling at. You got the POC right below you at this blue line. This is saying that this is the highest volume where people were trading and settling up near like 28 cents. You're not too far off from that. I think Say might come down to 28 cents and get a bounce off that level because that's the level that was previous resistance and also support back through the history of this coin over the last year and a half now. I think if we climb up to higher prices, you'll have some resistance at 35 cents. There's another high volume node. But get past like 37 cents, you have a gap in the VRVP, and you could see 46 cents as your value area high. And that isn't a level that we got, you know, some resistance. We got some rejection off of this level here at 46 cents. I think 46 cents is should be your take profit target. You'll be up about roughly 50% on your investment here with Say at that level, so could be a good area to take profit. But if you want to stay in the trade a little bit longer, you want to stay in your investment a little bit longer, I mean, we have the VRVP dropping off after you get past like 47 cents, 48 cents. The next high volume node where you could get resistance is at 66 cents, and that's like this area that we were trading at back here in December of last year. If you get up to like 66 cents, you basically doubled your money with Say, and you should probably consider clicking that sell button. You know, you don't have to sell everything, but maybe sell a little bit so you can say that you made money, right? On your Say investment here. I think that's going to be your take profit target sometime in 2025 here, or maybe 2026, hopefully sooner than that. Netsanit has joined the live stream. Okay, appreciate you joining. Hopefully you stick around. If you want to learn about technical analysis and learn about the charts, that's what we do here. Cryptocurrencies, we talk about cryptocurrencies. We also talk about stocks. We got a guy asked about PayPal earlier. And let's see. And I'm also doing a live stream here on YouTube as well. I'm doing YouTube and TikTok. Sir Buttkiss said something about you needed some meds, okay, to feel better. I hope you are feeling better now. But yeah, I think, you know, would say, you know, I gave you your upside targets, downside targets. I think 28 cents needs to hold. If we don't, we could drop down to 20 cents. Okay, which you got a high volume node here at 20 cents, and that's like a psychological target as well, psychological level for most traders and investors out there. You're gonna reinvest your gains and go through another 4-year cycle. There's nothing wrong with that, John. I did that. I got involved myself in Bitcoin and crypto in 2017. I bought my first Bitcoin when it was at $3,000. I bought my first Ethereum when it was at like 250 bucks. And I saw Bitcoin go all the way up to like $19,000, and I thought that was pretty cool. You know, I 6x'd my money. And Ethereum went up to like 1,400 bucks. That was what? A 6x as well, right? Almost. But then I saw Bitcoin and Ethereum. I thought Bitcoin and Ethereum would continue going to higher prices. I didn't know really much about the crypto cycle or anything like that. I didn't know nearly as much about the charts as I do now. And I ended up round-tripping my gains on Bitcoin and Ethereum in 2017. I didn't click the sell button. I just stuck around until the 2021 cycle, and then I sold Ethereum. You know, I bought more Ethereum in like 2018 and 2019 when it was at like $300, $400. And then I sold Ethereum at $3,800 in 2021. Enough money for a down payment on a house. I got my first house from that. Yep. And then I decided to take some of that money and reinvest it into Solana. And I bought Solana at like $16. I think maybe I got a little bit at like $13 as well. And now Solana's at what, 170 bucks now? So I 10x my money on Solana already. Yeah. And I was selling some Solana earlier this year when Solana was at like 200, 220 bucks. But yeah, I think I've done pretty well for myself. And I plan on continuing to do well. And I will still probably be in the cryptocurrency cycle. And I look forward to buying more crypto in the next bear market when we do get one. Yep. Alrighty. Donaldo has followed me. Appreciate the follow there. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, we're just looking at the cryptocurrency market. I think we've gone live for about 2 hours now. Should I finish off on Bitcoin? We can take a look at Bitcoin one more time. Bitcoin really hasn't done much since I've been live streaming here. I think it was at like $116,800 when I first started the live stream 2 hours ago, and it's literally only $100 lower than where I started here on the live stream. But let me get rid of the VRVP. I still think the Fibonacci and the bull flag plays out. I'm just going to summarize what I see with Bitcoin before I finish this live stream here. Bitcoin looks like it's kind of bullishly consolidating at the $117,900 level, which is where the 786 retracement's at. We have tested the golden pocket already, and we might actually do that again, where we see Bitcoin go down to $114,500 or even $113,700 Bitcoin. You might actually get an opportunity to buy some cheaper Bitcoin if we continue going down, going into tomorrow. Tomorrow we do have the unemployment data and the jobs report. Should move the markets at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, so be on the lookout for that. That could affect your investments here in your crypto, and it will affect your investments as well in the stock market. That's a pretty important number to look at, the jobs number tomorrow morning. And I think after we get the jobs number, we're going to get some more conviction here. Instead of Bitcoin going sideways, maybe we see Bitcoin go up to higher prices. If Bitcoin does go up to higher prices, because the jobs number is showing possibly maybe they lower interest rates in September, maybe, then, you know, we could see Bitcoin get up to this 127 fib extension level at $130,000 Bitcoin, which is confluent with my my chart pattern analysis. If this is a bull flag, right? If this is a bull flag on Bitcoin, then you just take that measured move, you put it to like where we could break out at, you know, like out of this bull flag here. And this is saying that we could see $134,000 Bitcoin, this blue number right here. Okay. So I still think $130,000 Bitcoin is a possibility. Maybe in August of what? Maybe even tomorrow, maybe. That's August 1st. But I think maybe in August we might see $130,000 Bitcoin to the upside. And it would be a shame if we don't. And if we go to lower prices on Bitcoin, then, you know, I think there's a lot of confluence here at the $107,700 Bitcoin level here. If I pulled the moving averages, oh shit, no, not that one. Yeah, the daily time frame, we have the 50 moving average is sitting at $107,200. If the price actually gets down to that moving average, and by the time this moving average is going to creep up a little bit, I think it will be confluent with this 0.382 retracement. So 107,700 or basically $108,000 Bitcoin could be a possibility in the future for August as well. And of course, we have a guy here asking about XRP, and that's why I like saving XRP for last or towards the middle of the stream, because we actually talked about XRP. That was like literally the first altcoin that I talked about after Bitcoin. But I appreciate you coming on to the live stream here, Wesley. You are asking for XRP like literally 2 hours later after we just talked about it, but it's okay. It's fine. We'll look at it one more time. We'll do a summary analysis on XRP. Sure, why not? And then we'll finish the live stream here. So we're looking at XRP currently trading at $3.06. And I think the $3 psychological level needs to hold, and I think XRP Army is going to do its best to defend $3. But if we don't, then we do have some levels here to go down to on the fib. But it looks like the most likely level is this 200-day moving average sitting at $2.45. Which is right above the 0.236 retracement here at $2.31. I think to the downside, $2.36 and $2.45, which is where the 200-day moving average. This is a good buy zone if you're able to get cheaper XRP at that level. But I don't know. I think XRP Army is going to hold on strong here. They're gonna try their hardest and darnest to prevent XRP from going below $3. We kind of did go below $3 here on July 24th. But if XRP starts cashing the bids and the XRP Army starts gaining an XRP Navy and Air Force, then maybe we could see $3.66 XRP all over again. And then the fib extension to the upside is saying that XRP could get up to like $4.13. That's your 127 level. And then the 1618 is saying $4.74 XRP. And then I know you guys are gonna love this number even better. Maybe later on in 2025 or 2026, we could see the $6.50 level, which is your 2618 on XRP. That would basically be a double, okay, for XRP. And you know, I'll even throw in a little bonus. 3618 says that XRP could get up to like $8.26. So, sure, why not? You know, that'd be more than double. That'd be almost a triple on XRP. Replay, gang. Yep. Let me just read the chat here before I get off the live stream. Rich is saying back in 2017, you were about to buy one Bitcoin at that time, but Bitcoin started to round up a bit and then a dump, and then let's see. Damien, you have to go. Oh, okay. John has to go, but you'll check in soon. And you love the learning. Keep shining. Thank you, John. All right. All right. Okay. If I was to buy into XRP again, I mean, this is a good level. $3, right? You're down 20% from the highs here back in July. So this 618 could be a good buy zone area. But yeah, I think, you know, if I wanted to buy more XRP, I'm going to see if, you know, maybe we get some, you know, a bounce off the 200-day moving average. Maybe $2.50 XRP could be a good buy zone area. But guys, that's going to be it for the live stream. It's time for me to eat some dinner. I got to make dinner, and then I got to eat dinner. And I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. Don't forget to hit the like button on the way out. Double tap my TikTok, guys. If you double tap the screen, that's how you like the live stream. And my YouTube guys, thank you for coming out. And don't forget to hit the like button on the way out. And I'll see you on the next live stream, guys. Take care.